Good morning, class 10. Today we will discuss new topics of physics chapter 3, sources of energy, lecture 2. In this lecture we will discuss conventional sources of energy, fossil fuels, coal, petroleum gas, natural gas, etc. So please attention. First is conventional sources of energy. The traditional source of energy which are familiar to most people are called conventional sources of energy. The main conventional sources of energy are wood and fossil fuel like coal and petroleum and natural gas. The fossil fuel derived from wood, coal and petroleum such as charcoal, coke, coal gas, petrol, diesel, kerosene, fuel oil and liquefied petroleum which is called LPG we use for cooking in our kitchen are also known as conventional sources of energy or conventional fuels. Even duck cake, that's mean uple, goitha is a conventional source of energy in our country. And in ancient time the energy of flowing water and blowing wind were used through water mine and windmills respectively for very limited purposes like running flour mill atta chakki to grind grains to obtain flour atta and water lifting pumps. The energy of flowing water or wind is no longer used for the purposes. The energy of flowing water and that of wind is now used to generate electricity. So the energy of flowing water and of wind is now considered to the non-conventional sources of energy or alternative sources of energy. We will discuss the most commonly used conventional sources of energy are fossil fuel. Include coal, petroleum gas and natural gas. Now dear student, what is fossil fuel? A natural fuel formed deep under the earth from the prehistoric remains of living organism. Prehistoric means the time 25 lakhs years to 10,000 years. Like plants and animals is called a fossil fuel. Coal, petroleum, natural gas are fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are dug oil from the earth beside being used direct in homes, transports, vehicles and industry. Fossil fuels are major source of energy for generating electricity in power plant. Now, how fossil fuels were formed? The plant and animals which died millions of years ago were gradually buried deep in the earth and get converted and sediments like mud and soils, sand away from the reach of oxygen of air. In the absence of oxygen, the chemical effect of pressure, heat and bacteria, which type of bacteria? Anaerobic bacteria, converting the buried remains of plants and animals into fossil fuel like coal, petroleum and natural gas. Dear student, it should be noted that the buried remains of large plants were converted into coals, whereas the small plants and animals were converted into petroleum and natural gas. लाखों साल पहले किसी कारण से जब पेड़ पौधा जानवर सब दब गया पृथ्वी के नीचे, अर्थ के नीचे, तो हाई टेम्परेचर प्रेशर और एनारोबिक बैक्टीरिया के कारण उसका क्या हो गया, डिकम्पोजिशन हो गया और ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन के बाद न्यू सब्सटेंस कोल, पेट्रोलियम और नेचुरल गैस में बदल गया. Now, dear student, what is coal? What is coal? Dear student, coal is the complex mixture of compounds of a carbon, hydrogen and oxygen and some free carbons, some small amounts of hydrogen, nitrogen and sulfur carbon compounds are also present in coal. It is a blackish substance we already seen in chulhas, tea stall, hotel, etc. It is found deep coal mines and under the surface of earth. Coal is important because it can be used as sources of energy, or it can be converted into the other form of energy like coal gas, electricity, oil, and synthetic petroleum. Synthetic petrol. The exploitation of coal is sources of energy made up by industrial revolution possible. Now, a lot of heat is produced during the burning of coal, which makes a good heat. Now, dear student, in coke is 98% carbon. Coke is a better fuel than coal. Coke is better fuel than coal because in it 98% carbon is present. So, dear student, coke is better fuel than coal because it produces more heat than an equal mass of coal, and it does not produce smoke while burning. And dear student, it does not produce pollution. Now, uses of coal is used in a fuel for heating purpose in home and industry. Coal is used as a fuel in thermal power plants for generating electricity in Bharinda also. Coal is used to make coke. Coal is also used to make coke, and in coke 98% carbon is present. Now, dear student, and the coke is then used to reducing agent in the extraction of metal. Reducing agent is that type of agent which provide which get oxidized to any element is called reducing agent. In chemistry, you study reducing agent and oxidizing agent. Now, dear student, next, coal is used in manufacture of fuel gas like coal gas. And dear student, coal is used to manufacture petrol and synthetic natural gas. And now the next topic is petroleum. What is petroleum? Petroleum is a dark colored, viscous, chipa and foul in badbudar, smelling crude oil. Crude oil means kacha tel. The name petroleum means rock oil. That means it is made up by two words, petra and oleum. Petra means rock and oleum means oil. It is called petroleum because it found under the crust of earth trapped in rocks. The crude oil petroleum is a complex mixture of several solid, liquid and gaseous hydrocarbons. Hydrocarbons in chemistry we will study. Hydrocarbon is that type of compound which is made up by hydrogen and carbon, such as methane, ethanol, etc. And the crude oil petroleum is a complex mixture of several solid, liquid and gaseous hydrocarbon mixed with water, salt and earth particles. Now, dear students, we get petrol, kerosene, diesel by fractional distillation of petroleum. LPG is the liquefied petroleum gas. Also, it is used to heating in domestic uses or domestic purposes. Now, dear students, we study petroleum gas. The main constituent of petroleum gas is butane. Through it also contain smaller amounts of propane and ethane. Propane and ethane. Ethane formula is C2H6. Dear students, thus we can say that petroleum gas is a mixture of hydrocarbon, butane, propane and ethane. Butane, propane and ethane all burn rapidly, produces a lot of heat. It makes petroleum gas a very good fuel. Petroleum gas is obtained by product of refineries from fractional distillation of petroleum. Petroleum is heated in various temperatures. We get kerosene, petrol, diesel, etc. Whereas paraffin may move, wax also. The butane and ethane are gases under the ordinary gross pressure, atmospheric pressure (ATP), but they can easily liquefy to under pressure, liquefied petroleum gas (LPG gas). And LPG gas, liquefied petroleum gas, consists mainly butane and isobutane and normal butane, along with the smaller amounts of propane and ethane, which has been liquefied applying pressure. In other words, the domestic gas cylinder like Indian, HP, various type of gases company are present in our country. In LPG gas, we mix a little amount of C2H5 acid, ethyl mercaptan. Ethyl mercaptan, it is a foul-smelling compound where it mixes in cylinder. Then this LPG gas foil and prevent to accident. Now dear student, advantage of LPG. Advantage of LPG, liquefied petroleum gas. So dear student, the first advantage of LPG is LPG gas has a high calorific value, so it is a good fuel. And dear student, LPG burns with a smokeless flame and do not cause air pollution. And LPG do not produce any poisonous gases on burning. It handles easily and conveniently to store. And dear student, it is very neat and clean domestic fuel. Danger of LPG gas: it is a highly inflammable gas. So in kitchen, we will set on fire and person working to kitchen get burned if the lighting and matches on explosion is not cautiously. Now dear student, natural gas. The next topic is natural gas. In natural gas consists mainly methane with small quantities of ethane and propane. In fact, natural gas up to 95% methane. In natural gas, how many percentage of methane gas is present? 95%, dear students. It is very important to know, learn 95%. Natural gas occurs deep under the crust of earth, either along with pipe above the petroleum deposits. जहाँ पे पेट्रोलियम गैस मिलता है उसी के ऊपर नेचुरल गैस मिलेगा. जहाँ पे पेट्रोलियम मिलेगा उसी के ऊपर एक लेयर में क्या होगा, नेचुरल गैस प्रेजेंट होता है. एंड डियर स्टूडेंट, नेचुरल गैस इज फॉर्म्ड अंडर द अर्थ बाय डिकम्पोजिशन ऑफ वेजिटेबल मैटर laying under the water. Thus decomposition is carried out by anaerobic bacteria. Now dear student, our natural gas is used as a domestic and industrial fuel. Dear students, it is also used in thermal power plant for generating electricity. Compressed natural gas, CNG, compressed natural gas. In metropolitan city, we use compressed natural gas for moving vehicles. It does not produce more pollution than petrol. So we use CNG. CNG means compressed natural gas, being used increasingly as fuel in transport vehicles like car, buses and trucks. It is a good alternative to petrol and diesel because it does not cause any pollution. And now student, thermal power plant. The next topic is thermal power plant. Thermal power plants. Now dear student, thermal power plant. A power plant is a power plant in which the heat required to make steam to drive turbine as like a fan, to make electricity to obtain by burning fuel, coal or oil or gas is called thermal power plant. Now the next topic is pollution caused by fossil fuel. Pollution caused by fossil fuel. Let me explain. First point, the burning of fossil fuels produce acidic gases such as sulfur dioxide and nitrogen oxide. These acidic gases causes acid rain. Due to acid rain, there are various diseases is in the human being, as like cancer, skin problems, etc. The acid rain damages trees, plants, crops, etc. nitrogen fertility of soil by making it acidic and poses a danger to aquatic animals like fish. The monuments like Taj Mahal, made of marble, stone and statue of also damaged by acid rain. The burning of fossil fuel also put a poisonous gas, carbon monoxide. The formula of carbon monoxide is CO. It is very poisonous gas into air. Now the second topic is the burning of fossil fuel produces large amount of carbon dioxide which goes into the air. Through carbon dioxide gas is not harmful immediately. It damages the environment in the long run. Dear student, if the presence of increasing amount of carbon dioxide gas in atmosphere is causes increased greenhouse effect, leading to excessive heating of the earth in the harmful for the life of the earth. Dear student, during 20 to 10 years we will feel global warming. Day to day our earth's temperature increases. Now the burning of fossil fuel, especially coal, produce smoke which pollutes the air. And the next is burning of coal leaves behind a lot of ash. Ash means rock. It also put tiny particles of rock, ash, fly ash, called the air pollution of causing air pollution. Now dear student, this topic was completed, and in the next video we will discuss alternative sources of energy, non-conventional sources of energy. So dear student, you solve question answer of these topics present in your exam book. There are some questions. Name the product of petroleum that is used to drive heavy vehicles. Petrol, diesel. Give one example of a good domestic fuel, LPG gas. Okay, as it is, you solve all the question answer of these topics along with these topics. Now, thank you very much.